All right, so we're back. We're going to be talking today about treating your business as an investment. How to make sure that we're getting the most out of our businesses at it as an investment and how we can do that wealth accumulation because that's the goal, right, Mark? We want to accumulate wealth.
Absolutely. You've got this business that's an engine for generating money and you want to put it to good use. So I'd love to talk about how we can help our clients with that.
So, treating your business as an investment instead of a paycheck. I know we talked about this a little bit previously, but explain to me why business owners should focus on like that long-term value.
Right. And so I think in a lot of cases, business owners create this business that generates income. Many of them have come from an environment where maybe they work for somebody and they were just used to getting a paycheck and covering their expenses. But now you've got something that can generate real income and something that you can use to fund goals that might be retirement based, might be, kind of expansion based, buying, other investments and so on and so forth. And so it's really important to kind of take a long view of the money you make in your business. You're going to get a lot of income, hopefully, with this business that you've got. And you're going to pay taxes on it. Unfortunately, so Uncle Sam's your partner in the deal, but we can help you be strategic in the way that you manage that money that your business can generate, and whether that's going to be to fund those goals that you might have or do whatever, hire more staff. So it's really important to think about long-term things. So you don't just look in the bank account and say, I got a lot of money that this business is creating, and just go out and spend it on things that really don't drive the business or don't help the business grow. So that's what we really mean. It's like you don't want to have this thing that's just helping you live day to day. You want it to, yes, help you with the day-to-day stuff and build your lifestyle and fund your lifestyle. But then what can you do beyond that? And how can you use the money that your business generates to bring those goals to fruition?
Well, let's have a little Shark Tank discussion because
All right.
I'm really interested in what you're going to say about this. On that show, people go out and they're like, my business is worth this, that, and the other. And Kevin O'Leary always goes, no, it's not. Nope, it's not. So
Yeah,
give
like
us a little Mark reality. Like, how do we figure out our valuation and how does that work? Knowing what our assets are, knowing what our business value is.
yeah, I think that's something that business owners tend to not have a good picture of what their business is worth. Truly, you go on to Shark Tank and you see them say, I want, 500,000 for 5% of my business. And when you do the math, it's like, yeah, your business isn't worth that much. Come on, let's be realistic. And if you look at it from somebody that may want to buy your business, and let's just kind of take that view first. If I'm going to buy a business, I'm going to invest some money in this business, and it's with the idea or the expectation that I'm going to get my money back and then some. And so if I give you a lot of money for your business that doesn't generate a lot of revenue, I'm not going to get the return on my investment. So why am I going to do that? Right. And so when you're thinking about the value of your business, you have to take a realistic view of it. And in most cases, an investor in your business is going to want to get paid back within 3 to 5 or maybe 7 years on whatever investment they make. So what does that mean? All right. Your business has to generate profit that will pay that person back for taking the risk to invest in your business. And so it really becomes a numbers game. And some of it boils down to what is it that your business is using to value itself? And is that profit or is that top line revenue? And so we talk in our discussions with our clients about the elements of value. What are the things that make your business worth more? Profit's a good number in a lot of cases. That's probably should be the main driver, because if I'm making 500,000 profit, I'm willing to maybe pay 5 times that and give you as a potential seller of your business that, because I know I'm going to get that money back if I continue the business and do some things. I might be able to pick up some efficiencies and so on and so forth. So that's a good driver. In other cases, the value might be driven by how much revenue is coming in. And maybe I've got some complementary services that I offer in what I'm, bringing to the table, and I need just your client base, or I need to have that book of business that you have. And so I might be willing to pay more for that rather than looking at the pure profit of the business. So, it's really important as a business owner to take into consideration a few things. One, what is it that truly people want from my business if I were to sell it? Is it profit? Is it customer base? So on and so forth. Are there assets? Are there technologies? Are there certain, things that we do in our business that are unique? Okay, there may be a premium on that. But beyond that, what is realistic in my sense, and then am I at a place that I can, if I get this big check for selling my business, can I go off and do the things I want to do, or do I still have to work, or do I still have to do something? And so the discussion has to be part, what do I think my business is worth? What is it really worth? And if it's not where I think it should be, then I've got to find ways to get it closer and bring it up to that level of where it can be. And then that number that I get for my business, is that going to be enough to sustain what I want in post business operations, whether that's retirement or on to the next thing. So a lot of things go into play, and it's a fun discussion to have. And I love having it with business owners, because that's where we're providing real value to real life scenarios. And it's a very rewarding experience when we take a business owner that may be here and that thinks they're up here, but they're not quite there, but yet we can help them get to that point. And when you do that and they execute on it, it's a beautiful thing.